Well, the death toll in the associated plane crash has now risen to 14, and that's because one of the passengers on the casualty list died at the weekend. Our correspondent Yomi Otaigbe visited one of the hospitals where some of the survivors are being treated and now reports.
I'm right at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja, where 5 of the 7 survivors from the Associated Airline plane crash are currently receiving treatment. I gather that one of the survivors passed on Saturday, October the 5th, but officials here will not confirm this. Instead, we are directed to the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Jide Idris, who spoke about the survivors.
Out of those 7, 2 were very, very critical. However, we unfortunately lost one of those critical cases, I think 2 days ago. There's one, again, still very critical because they had to carry out urgent surgery for him, brain surgery for him 3 days ago, but still it's a critical state. But as for the others are doing very well. They're receiving the best of treatment. Altogether, there are 4 at Lasut now, 1 in Bagada, and the last one in the Air Force Medical Center in Ikeja there.
And what about the bodies of those who lost their lives?
Right now, our consultants they are still carrying out their activities. They've done dental x-rays just for preparation for matching. They finished the autopsies on the 13th. They are about running up, if they have not done so, to collecting samples from members of the family for DNA. The chief medical examiner will decide which of those bodies has enough evidence for release of the bodies.
The Commissioner for Health also set the record straight on the health condition of one of the survivors.
That's Feyi Agagu, because there were rumors saying that the Lasut person were battling to save his life. That is totally untrue. He's been moved from after the normal investigations, the CT scan and all, at least he's about to be very stable, and been moved from the emergency room to a ward in Lasut there for observation. And of course, they continue the basic treatment for him.
Meanwhile, the DNA specimen taken from some of the family members of the victims will be taken to the United Kingdom for analysis, and results are expected back within 2 to 3 weeks. Yomi Otaigbe reporting for Channels Television News.
The New People's Democratic Party rose from a meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan and resolved to wait for the return of members who are on pilgrimages to Saudi Arabia and Jerusalem before resuming the peace talks at a later date. Briefing newsmen shortly after the closed-door meeting, Governors Mwazu Aliyu of Niger State and Lieli Moke of Cross River State said the meeting was cordial.
Sequel to the meeting held on the 15th of September, and in line with the agreements reached at that meeting, the governors met with the President, the Vice President, and the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, with apologies from the governors of Jigawa, Sokoto, and Adamawa, who had traveled for the Hajj. The meeting, which was cordial, resolved that in spite of the unfortunate events that arose after the meeting of the 15th of September, the parties remain committed to the resolution of differences. The meeting agreed to continue to take steps towards implementing the resolutions agreed to at the previous meetings. In view of the absence of some of the governors, it was resolved that the meeting be reconvened shortly after the Muslim Hajj and Christian pilgrimages are concluded.
So other stories now. An asset forfeiture hearing involving former Delta State Governor James Ibori has ended inconclusively and will start afresh next year. Prosecutors at London's Southwark Crown Court are seeking the confiscation of £90 million in assets, which they say belong to Mr. Ibori. After 3 weeks in court, Judge Anthony Pitts said that in order to make an informed ruling, he needed a better grip on the evidence underlying the case. He said the hearing should start from scratch next year at a date to be determined later. The confiscation proceedings against him, which began on September 16th, will determine whether he emerges from jail with nothing to his name or still in possession of a large fortune. James Ibori, who was governor of oil-producing Delta State in southern Nigeria from 1999 to 2007, is serving a 13-year jail sentence in a British jail after pleading guilty in February 2012 to 10 counts of fraud and money laundering. He will become eligible for early release in March 2016. Duffield Prima Foods, makers of Indomie noodles, is advising Nigerians to see children as agents of national transformation. At the 6th edition of the Indomie Independence Day Heroes Award in Lagos, the management rewarded children who demonstrated bravery in saving lives and property during mishaps.
The Indomie Independence Day Heroes Award is an annual ceremony staged to appreciate the younger generation of Nigerians for courage in rescue efforts. The 6th edition was another remarkable success.
What we want to do is in the society inculcate the habit of celebrating the children who do the acts which are beyond courage shown by even adults.
Human rights activist Joe Oke-Odumake, who delivered a traditional keynote address at the annual awards, advised Nigerians to equip children for a better future.
How we long for those days when mortality and discipline used to be our virtues. We now live in a society where immortality and indiscipline are overboard and celebrated.
The awards this year saw the panel of judges pre-selecting 3 winners out of the 14 shortlisted profiles. The first place winner, Divine Turemi, went away with ₦1 million for saving a drowning man.
I wanted to save him because I had the courage in me to go back and save him.
Yes, there are something like 10 criteria, and I must admit I haven't learned them all off by heart. But one is demonstrating skill, one is showing bravery, one is showing concern for others and not for yourself, one is showing a level of intelligence and acting in a sensible way. And this year's winner did all those in great quantity.
In this particular year, we had almost 900 applicants. Of the 900, unfortunately, we only have to choose 3 winners. So we're trying to create a program next year where we can do a little bit more and acknowledge people who don't win also.
All they have done is really helping those who are really in need of assistance, and they were not expecting anything from anybody when they were doing it. So those are the sort of people we need to recognize and appreciate in our society for our country to move forward.
7-year-old Mohammed Kenubu won 2nd place for saving a toddler at the scene of a bomb blast in Kano State, and 10-year-old David Adekole came 3rd for helping the police round up a gang of thieves in Minna.
Unilever Nigeria PLC has kicked off a 3-month nutrition education program tagged Blue Band National Growth Challenge. At a media briefing in Lagos, the company announced that the objective is to encourage proper growth in children through optimal nutrition.
Blue Band National Growth Challenge, which is the first of its kind in Nigeria, is Unilever's simple way of saying every child deserves the nutrition he or she needs for normal growth.
Blue Band has seen the gaps in nutrition, the gaps in knowledge, the gaps in behaviors. And that's why I felt that at this important stage in the life of the school children, you should equip them with the right knowledge, behaviors, and practices that helps them to meet the growth deficits and become the kind of responsible people they need to be for the society.
The program, which is being done in partnership with the Children of Africa organization in collaboration with the State Primary Education Board and the Ministries of Health, will take place across 400 primary schools in Lagos and Enugu states.
You cannot talk healthy child without talking the nutrition of the child. So for this particular program that Unilever is embarking on, I think it's great. I think it's good in the sense that it is going to give the school children the opportunity to learn a little bit more nutrition information. Because from what I gathered, They are going to be doing nutrition education. They are going to be doing growth monitoring. And they are also going to be engaging the children in some type of art exhibition, art practices, just to, exercise their skill.
We've been so excited seeing Unilever come to Enugu. And already school, the SPEB, is already informed about this program. And teachers are warming up with the pupils. And pupils are equally happy that Unilever is coming.
Since the campaign is aimed at educating parents, especially mothers, on the significance of providing the right nutrition for their children, how do they intend to get the nominees to the venue?
These children will take back home the messages that we are preaching to them in the schools, and they will share with their mothers. We all know that children have pester power. We all grew up at some point or the other. We know how we used to, pester our parents for something that we really, really wanted. Now, the good thing about it is that the children will pester their moms because they believe Blue Band tastes nice. But the mothers will buy this product because they know it's actually good for the children. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
The Blue Band National Growth Challenge is aimed at reaching 100,000 children, and it's a testament to Unilever's commitment towards promoting and improving the health and well-being of children globally.